Other fact witnesses. Jeffrey, let me bring you in the conversation here. Dr. Werner Spitz, obviously an enormously impressive guy in terms of his credentials and his background. How do you as a defense lawyer know when enough is enough in terms of your expert witnesses? Beth mentioned 4 forensic pathologists on the witness list for the defense. How do you decide that?
Jack, you know as well as I do, you stare right at the jury and you see if you're losing them. You see if you're losing them and you quicken up the pace, you shock them, you do some questioning that really brings out some stuff. Juries don't like to be played. They don't like being force-fed, they don't like being played, they don't like to see repetitive testimony keep coming forward and forward and forward. They say, we got it already, we got it, okay? Now you're beating us up and we don't like it. And they start revolting on you. This grandpa, though, this reliable grandpa, he's fine. He's professor emeritus, like Beth said. He's fine. He's doing a great job. You keep him on as long as you can. He's trustworthy. He's homey. He uses words. He doesn't use scientific words. He says, twirl. Look at the smoke. You know, he does all these kind of cutesy things, and he feels like a grandfather. And he's got that Austrian accent. It's like Einstein on the side.
That's
you know,
the only problem, analysis there.
The only problem that you have with him is you want to make sure that he doesn't get old and shoddy, that he starts forgetting. You want to keep him alive so that it doesn't look like he's getting a little senile on the stand. So you want to keep him sharp, you want to keep him bright. You hope that he doesn't go to that territory.
Here's a question, actually 2 questions.
Yeah.
First is, does a judge have the ability at some point to say to either prosecution or defense, enough? We've heard enough witnesses in this particular area. Let's start moving to others. And if the judge has the ability, do you think they would ever exercise it in a case such as this, a murder case?
Okay, 1, judge is El Jefe. Okay, that's it. He's the boss. He's the end. He's the zero out. Okay, it's up to him to make the call whether he's going to be brought up to the appeals court or not. Right. So he makes the decision. If he thinks it's enough, and he thinks the jury is getting bored, and he thinks that the testimony is no more relevant. Okay, he can't just jump in after the third, the first expert witness or the second expert, and it's got deviant testimony. It's got different testimony that's really relevant. But if he feels that the jury has heard this and that they are being played, and he thinks that he's going to lose the jury and that it's just a waste of time, it's extraordinary to happen in this particular case. In this first of all, it's a celebrity case. Secondly, we're on it. All the media is on it. The judge is going to be like, the judge in Anna Nicole, and he don't want to do that. This is not that kind of judge.
No, he doesn't want to do his own TV show.
He doesn't want to do his own.
And the good thing is he's a great judge. We need him on the bench.
Yeah, we need him on the bench.
Prosecutor or defense lawyer, he's the kind of guy you want on the bench.
Right. He's solid. He's strong. He knows what it is, and he'll make good rulings. And he won't intercede in this because they're not really going above bounds. They're not going too far out.
Let's talk a little bit about the demonstrations that we're seeing take place in the courtroom. And we're going to ask our folks to run for us while you and I are talking. The jurors have seen any number of things here. Right now you're seeing, and this is Dr. Werner Spitz actually firing off the gun. Jurors have seen this. There's some other visuals that they've had an opportunity to watch and see here. What's the value of that, do you think, when you add it to experts on the stand?
Well, this guy comes across like, I do the work. I am the man. I do the work. It's not like I'm giving you a report and I'm not reading it. Look at me. I'm shooting a gun. I am telling you this is what I tested. This is what I found. And I actually got the residue on my hand. I actually smelled the gun smoke. I actually went there. And, I'm 80 years old and I shot the gun and I found out what it was about. And I'm telling you the truth. And this is what is happening. And juries believe it. Yeah. They see it.
It's interesting because your point is I think very well taken. Here's a guy who's an MD. I mean, he's a doctor, but he's out there. He wants to be able to feel and to see all the things he's testifying about. There has been an array of very talented and competent experts here. Now, we've said before, the defense experts are bigger names, but the prosecution experts sounded very believable and well-educated, well-informed. What do jurors do when they have to go in and decide this case, and they go in, they close the door, and now it's just the 12 of them, and they're saying, all right, we have all these experts here, and you know what? I like them all, but they're all telling us something different. How do they decide?
Guess what? You got my case. Yeah. That's it. Because if everybody's telling them the same, and they're confused, and there ain't something that's directly telling them this guy killed him, it's beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
And they're confused. They don't know what's going on. This expert was great. That expert was great. And so you know what? We really don't know what happened there. sorry, if you don't know what happened there, this guy who's facing 20 years to life ain't going away, and we can't let this happen on our watch.
You're not sure defense
Not sure
wins.
you got to walk.
Yeah.
Not sure you got to walk. They can't live with themselves to do it any other way. And you know they want to blame somebody, as you well know as a trial lawyer.
Sure.
Like, jurors always want to blame somebody for a crime. So if they don't think it's a crime and they feel like the experts are telling the truth, they'll find another way out. And another way out is it's an accident.
Right.
Another way out is
We don't
maybe
have to-
not so
we
much
don't have to
suicide.
decide this because we're not even sure it's a crime yet.
We're not even sure it's a crime.
Yeah, good point. In any event, as we said to you, they are in the midst of a break. Looking at our monitor, they're not yet back in the courtroom, but they may well be gathering, so we're going to fit in a quick break of our own here. We'll get back to take you live in just a few moments. So more of that testimony from Dr. Werner Spitz. That just about does it for us for today. Before we leave, let's ask a question to our friend Jeff Steinberger, who's spent the day with us here in New York rather than in L.A., where we usually see you. We've heard a couple of instances now, including this witness, where defense experts were sitting in the courtroom listening to the testimony of prosecution experts. How unusual is that?
As we talk, Jack, it's almost astounding. It is clear, brilliant trial strategy. I'm telling you why. The reason that it is because these experts, the defense experts, are sitting in the back, then they get to testify, and they ask, what'd you think of their testimony? And really what they're doing is it looks to the jury like they're judging the peons. They're judging the school children. These are just school children. We'll tell you how they performed. We'll tell you exactly what they testified to. And so what you're getting is only the defense testimony being the one that's of any value. The other ones are just kids. Okay, yeah, they were pretty good. They did their job. But, you know, they were wrong on this, and they were right on that, and they were wrong on this. So whatever they say becomes the Masonic truth. I mean, this is exactly the testimony that they want to do. It was a clever strategy. It's expensive. It's very unusual. And it just generally, I've never heard of it except in celebrity trials where they have the money to spend on this stuff.
Underscores what the defense has said. Basically, we've got the teachers. They had the pupils believe the teachers. Anyway, hey, Jeff, it was good seeing you. Glad you come visit here in New York. We'll see you again real soon.
Anytime. Thank you.
In the meantime, that does it for us. Closing arguments up next with Jane Velez Mitchell. Jane will continue our live coverage of this trial. We'll be back here tomorrow, regular time, 1 o'clock Eastern time, to continue the trial of Phil Spector. We'll see you all then. Take care.